Let's see how we did. For number 1, I started working on this by doing the area of each triangle separately and then adding. So for the small one, we would have 1/2 times 3.3 times 4.4, which would give us an area for this one of 7.26 inches squared. For the bigger triangle, we had 1/2 times 6.1 times 4.4, which gives us an area of 13.42. And our job is to add it. So that would give us 7.26 plus 13.42, which would give us an answer of 20.68 inches squared. For this side, I'm going to do it differently. First, I'm going to find the base. Here's our base. Here's our base. So base equals 16 plus 8, which we know is 24. Now we can figure out using our formula of 1/2 base times height, where 24 is our base and 14 is our height. This gives us an area of 84 meters squared. Make sure that your paper looks just like mine. Great job. We're actually going to transition to lesson 4 because this one's a really quick one. Go ahead and turn the page to S15, and it says lesson 4 at the top. For our opening exercise, we simply want to be able to draw and label the altitude of each triangle below. Now, I've been saying that word altitude interchangeably with our height. We know that the area of a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. If this is our base, can we use this slanted side as our height? No. We would have to create a straight line to figure out what our height is. This would be our altitude, which also is called our height. Looking at B, this looks more familiar. If this is our base, our height would simply be this line. This would be our height or our altitude. And C looks really crazy. We have 2 slanted lines. Now, if I put a dotted line right here, that wouldn't work. So we actually have to go on the outside of the triangle to create some imaginary lines that will allow us to identify the height. If this is our base, this would be our height or our altitude. Go ahead and make sure that your paper looks like mine. We're going to flip all the way to page 17 for exercises 6 and 7. For exercises 6 and 7, it says calculate the area of each triangle. Figures are not drawn to scale. We know that area equals 1/2 base times height. For this one, that looked like that crazy one that we just did, and we had to create an imaginary extension of our base. When we are figuring out the area of a triangle, we do not include that imaginary number for our base. So our base for number 6 is simply just 24. So if I fill this out in our formula, it would be A equals 1/2 of 24. And then we've identified our height as 8. Go ahead and plug that into your calculator. and you would get A equals 96 inches squared. Let's do one more. For this one, it's the same thing except they flipped it upside down. We had to extend our base, an imaginary base, to give us that right angle so that we could figure out the area. But for our base, we just used 12 3/4. So this would be A equals 1/2 of 12 3/4 times 9 1/2. For interest of time, I plugged this into my computer into my calculator as A equals 1/2 of 12.75 times 9.5. And I got area equals 60.56. If we wanted to turn that into a mixed number, that would be 60 9/16 feet squared. Both answers would be good. Make sure your paper looks just like mine. If you remember back to yesterday, I told you when it comes to a triangle, if we remember area equals base times height, we're going to be able to get every answer correct. At this time, go ahead and complete your exit ticket for both lesson 3 and lesson 4. That will count as your points that will be going in the grade book for today. I look forward to seeing you later. Have a good one.